Well, good evening and welcome to our 2020 Alabaster Jar Gala, Cocktails for a Cause. We're going virtual tonight, and I just want to thank you for setting aside the time to be with us. I got to tell you, we are so excited to share the stories of transformation and life change that are happening in the lives of the women here at Alabaster Jar Project. So I hope that you're in the comfort of your own home. You've got a cocktail or a beverage of choice in hand. Sit back, relax, and we are going to have a wonderful evening together. Well, my name is Nate Alcorn. I'm the co-founder and board president here at Alabaster Jar Project. And I just want to go over how the evening is going to go tonight. We're going to start off and look at the problem of human trafficking here in San Diego. And then we're going to explore how Alabaster Jar is stepping in and being part of the solution, how we are helping empower women survivors of trafficking. We're going to hear from some of the staff members who are working directly with clients. We're going to hear the success stories and the highlights that they are experiencing on a daily basis. And then we're going to have some fun. We've got singer-songwriter with us, Jackie Foster, and she's going to play a few songs for us. And so my hope, my goal for this evening for all of us is that we would be inspired, that we would want to lean in and take that next step in partnership. It's through your financial contributions that we are seeing permanent and lasting change in women's lives. And it's amazing. And I don't know about you, but I can't think of a better way to invest my time and my resources than in helping women thrive. And that's exactly what's happening here at Alabaster Jar Project. And so to get things kicked off, I want to introduce to you our MC for the evening. Her name is Monica Dean. She is a news anchor with NBC7 News. She hosts the 4 and 5 p.m. weekday news. She also helped NBC7 produce a mini docuseries about trafficking. It's called Stolen, and it just explores that issue of sex trafficking here in San Diego. And so Monica, she's got an amazing passion to bring awareness to this issue and to also help empower women survivors of trafficking. So we are grateful and we are honored to have Monica with us this evening. And so without further ado, I want to welcome Monica Dean.
Thank you, Nate. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here tonight. I've worked for NBC in San Diego for 16 years, but I'm also a wife and a mother of 3 young children. As a journalist, I've covered the topic of human trafficking for many years. It has broken my heart 1,000 times over, but I felt this nagging concern that the public wasn't truly understanding what is happening, how and where it happens, and how organizations like Alabaster Jar Project are working tirelessly to provide a lifeline and bring restoration to the lives of survivors. This is where, as a journalist, I felt called to action, to do something more. Our small but mighty team at NBC7 worked for more than a year to put a human face on the various layers of this complex issue to help everyone understand the truth about what this problem really looks like, what's being done to stop it, and how you can be part of the solution. People remember what they feel. This was my challenge. Could we help people feel something so powerful that they wouldn't be able to look the other way? Because that's how I felt when I began to meet people who had lived this story of trafficking and realized we are all vulnerable in different ways. These survivors could be my sister, my neighbor, my friend, even my daughter. And what began to take shape was a documentary series called Stolen, a 7-episode series available online at nbc7.com/stolen, with companion podcasts and a comprehensive multimedia launch. Each episode of the series highlights a different aspect of this troubling issue: the problem, the scope of the problem, the enforcement, the vulnerabilities, the solutions, to name a few. And although this is a dark topic, there is light and hope. And in many cases, it's found through the people working to make a difference. You may recognize several Alabaster Jar leaders who are featured in the series. Here's a look at some of the highlights of Stolen.
Why don't we start telling our kids the truth about that 80% of the harms that are going to come to them are not going to be from a stranger who pulls them off on the streets. It's going to be from someone trying to befriend them, or someone who is posing as a friend, or a family or a coach or a teacher that comes in and tries to exploit them.
Why do you think we have such a problem here?
It is unfortunately a very easy crime to perpetrate. It involves human deception, human exploitation, and it can take on any form.
When they hear human trafficking, they think of, someone coming over in a shipping container in the middle of the night, or a young girl kidnapped off of the streets. Here in San Diego, it's our neighbors trafficking our neighbors. It's our middle schoolers trafficking our middle schoolers.
It's not out there away from us across the border. It's our own girls and our own boys from our own neighborhoods.
Human trafficking is the commercial exploitation or selling of a person for sex or labor, and often by force, fraud, or coercion. By California law, anyone under 18 who has sex for money is considered a victim of sex trafficking. San Diego County is a national leader in the fight against sex trafficking. But in 2019, the county's grand jury said it is critically lacking in shelter beds for children and adults trying to escape their traffickers. I want to bring up the San Diego County grand jury report because one of the things that startled me was that they cited that a private agency in San Diego was turning away an average of 20 adult victims per month because their facility is at capacity.
I would think that's low.
That's very low.
That's very low.
So can any of you give a personal testimony as to having to turn away survivors because you're at capacity?
All the time, and we do turn away 20 to 30 survivors every month, and we try and find them other resources.
In a landmark study published in 2016, doctors Jamie Gates and Amy Carpenter estimated there are at a minimum 3,000 sex trafficking victims every year in San Diego County. They pointed out a shortage of facilities, citing a total of 29 beds for rescued adult women. At the time, no beds for teens or adult men.
If we had funding, we would be able to have capacity to hire the staff and be able to open more programs.
Because how much does it cost to run
Bare bones, one home, 6 beds, costs about $250,000 for 1 year.
We are allowing organized crime to grow at a rapid rate in our communities because we're not willing to provide the funds for victim services. People do not understand that the victim's story does not end at leaving the life or being pulled out of the life.
Some of these women are survivors, sharing stories of the people they've dedicated their lives to helping.
I asked her what was on her mind, and she said, I fell into the ditch so hard. And it was even harder to climb out. But now that I'm out, I know that I can never go back.
What is it that you feel like people just aren't understanding?
A majority of San Diegans think, human trafficking is happening elsewhere.
Traffickers at times can spot out someone who has a lot of vulnerabilities that are going on.
I was that vulnerable young woman at 12 and 13 years of age that grew up on Camp Pendleton and was solicited by Marines on a daily basis.
If we just take one moment out of our day to open up our hearts to want to make a difference in even just one person's day, every day, we could change the world that way.
We focused on one aspect of this issue, but we want to encourage you to keep the conversation going. We've included some resources on our website that tackle some of the other parts of the conversation. Go to NBC7.com/stolen. There you can also find more stories from the survivors we spoke with and resources for parents on how to have a conversation with your kids. Help educate our community, and you can be part of the solution to ensure no child or adult is stolen. I am so grateful for the courageous survivors and those with lived experience who trusted us to share their stories in the Stolen series. I'm hopeful what we have produced together will be something that you can share and inspire others to action. As you can see, trafficking is a real problem right here in our own community. We uncovered evidence of this happening in nearly every school district in San Diego County. And since the coronavirus pandemic began, sadly, it appears the problem has only gotten worse. Dr. Jamie Gates was a tremendous resource for our NBC7 investigation. Dr. Gates is a professor of sociology from Point Loma Nazarene University. He co-led a groundbreaking research project on sex trafficking here in San Diego. For 7 years, he co-chaired the Research and Data Committee of the San Diego County Advisory Council on Human Trafficking. Dr. Gates is an expert on the issue of trafficking, and his commitment to bringing this dark issue to light is an inspiration to us all. Here is what he had to say.
Hi, I'm Jamie Gates, and I'm a professor of cultural anthropology at Point Loma Nazarene University, and I'm in the Department of Sociology, Social Work, and Family Sciences. Been there, 20 years now, but I've been involved in anti-human trafficking work for the past 15 years. I have been a researcher, an activist, a program developer. We've been helping get the San Diego Advisory Council on Human Trafficking off the ground back in 2011. And for 7 years, I served as the co-chair of the Research and Data Subcommittee, helping to draw research to the fight against human trafficking. Yeah, most people, when they think of human trafficking, they think of movies like Liam Neeson's Taken, where somebody is snatched, grabbed, violently kidnapped, and then put to sex work. And what we find in San Diego County is that far more common is the boyfriending, is the psychological manipulation of somebody, is people who know others, it's somebody who's getting victimized by somebody they know. It is our own children, it is our own families in our own neighborhoods. So it's very close to home. People are also surprised when they find out that as we did focus groups in 20 area high schools in San Diego County, we found recruiting happening in all 20 high schools, in the north part of the county, in East County, in the South Bay, in the center part of the city. Trafficking impacts communities across the socioeconomic divide, across the racial and ethnic divide. So when parents want to know, are my kids at risk of trafficking? Unfortunately, it's true. We had hundreds of survivors that we talked to, and the average age of recruitment that we found was 16. That means there's an awful lot of 14, 15-year-olds, 13, 14, 15-year-olds, even as young in our sample as 8 years old, being recruited for commercial sex. We estimate there's between 3,000 and 8,000 victims in any particular year here in San Diego County. And our social services and our law enforcement and all of the programs that we have trying to help identify this, we're really only getting to about 200 or so people who are victimized in a year. We've got a lot of work to close that gap. We know it's a complex trauma that takes a long time to heal, and they need a place to go. They need a place to get care. They need a place for that long-term healing. It takes a lot of love. It takes a lot of professional care. It takes a lot of re-socialization. It takes finding a new community of folks who will surround you and be your support system and your safety net. So you can imagine, for somebody who's been traumatized by sex trafficking, it's going to take a number of us to come around and put our arms around them, put our resources around them from multiple angles, all at the same time. A place like Alabaster Jar has the kind of wonderful reputation that it does, and people know that it's a trusted place where people can get healing and where they know they're going to invest in their healing for the long haul. I'm going to want to give to that. I'm going to want to support that. I'm going to want to pray for that. I'm going to get my church involved. And some of what you might do might be financial. Some of what you might do might be your very presence, where you come and you love on the folks that are involved and you help lift their spirits. Some of it might be some volunteer work. Some of it might be that you start praying for those that are involved. There's all kinds of creative ways to say, I can get involved, even though I probably shouldn't get that close. I can stay this close and I can stay involved. If there's anything that can bring people together, it's the right cause. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I don't care if you're Christian, Jewish, Muslim. I don't care if you're rich, you're poor. Your kids are at risk. My kids are at risk. If you're just leaning in for the first time, don't be embarrassed that you haven't heard enough about this, or you haven't studied enough about this before. People were working really hard to hide it from you, right? I would say be encouraged, because you're coming alongside people who are on the ground, in the thick of it, have been paying attention to it, and their lives are committed to doing something about this.
It is so important that we grasp the severity of the problem of exploitation. Although we don't always see it, it is a real issue affecting our kids. And now, with so many online, they are more vulnerable than ever. But let's turn our attention to the solution and what's being done to help the lost recover what has been stolen. We're going to see how Alabaster Jar Project is making a difference. You'll also hear from the director and co-founder of Alabaster Jar Project, Susan Johnson. She is the inspiration behind Alabaster Jar. She is a tireless warrior for this cause with a strong voice and a tender heart. Also, there are a few things that set Alabaster apart from other organizations. One of those is that Alabaster Jar Project is a survivor-led organization. This means that women who are survivors of trafficking, who are now in a healthy place, are being employed by Alabaster. They are the staff inspiring healing in other women. Currently, 70% of the staff at Alabaster Jar are survivors of trafficking. Isn't that amazing?
Hi, my name is Susan Johnson, and I'm the director and co-founder of Alabaster Jar Project. Alabaster Jar Project is an amazing program that helps empower women who have survived trafficking and exploitation. We have two main programs. One program is a long-term residential program called Grace House, where we provide housing, shelter, wraparound services, healing, and coping skills for up to 2 years to help individuals that have come in and been victimized to get to self-sufficiency. We also have another program we call a resource center, which provides the tangible clothing, toiletries, immediate needs that somebody might have, as well as wraparound services, peer support, and help with getting to that next healthy step. What makes our program unique is that we utilize survivors, individuals who have overcome these obstacles themselves, as integral parts of our staff. They are individuals who have earned college degrees, who have dealt with the challenges of therapy and coping skills and PTSD. It's inspiring to the women that we serve that the individuals providing the direct services have also overcome these amazing challenges.
So initially coming into Grace House, there's several challenges. One of the challenges is this thought of, can I actually do this? You know, the women come in and they see me as a professional, which I am. They don't necessarily know right off the bat that I'm also a survivor and have been in their shoes at some point. One client in particular, she comes in and, you know, we're having difficulty with her. She's trying to get away with a lot of stuff, and so she's venting her frustration. So I just let her get it all out, and then I look at her and I say, well, you know, several years ago, I was right where you are, and her face just like dropped, like her jaw dropped, and she sat back and she was like, you know, and just, it was really neat to see the transformation even in that moment. And then because she realized, if you can do it, I can do it.
The difference with Alabaster Jar is that we actually have survivors that have lived the experience, and they can relate to what these women are going through. They've been there. And so when these women are struggling, our staff members are able to sit down with them and let them know that there is hope out there.
One of the things that's important about having survivors as staff members, you know, we identify, we relate, so we can build trust a little easier. They see us as approachable, you know, and we share the disappointments together, but we get it, and so we're just there like encouraging each other. One of my favorite components of the program is our peer support group. It's all online, so we can reach anybody. We've had people that have left the program and moved to other areas, and so now they can join us again via online. It's a unifying network of support for them. They can come in and they can talk about anything. There's nothing they can't talk about. And just the bonding and the sisterhood in it has been amazing. And it's what keeps people coming. It's hugely important for their recovery process, even after the fact, even after Grace House.
I love that Alabaster Jar is a survivor-led organization. The transformation that Alabaster Jar is seeing in the women's lives is directly attributed to the staff who have walked in their shoes. These staff members are beacons of hope and inspiration for the women they serve. And right now, you have the opportunity to partner with this organization and join in their incredible success. We'll share more of the success of Alabaster Jar, but first, we want to have a little fun. We're privileged to have with us tonight singer and songwriter and semifinalist on The Voice, Jackie Foster.
As you all know, it takes all of us coming together as a community to support the women who need us the most. So for this evening, I will be singing the song You Say by Lauren Daigle. I hope you enjoy.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough.
What a beautiful and inspiring song. Thank you, Jackie, for sharing your talents for such a worthy cause. We hope that tonight you are inspired by the transformation that Alabaster Jar is making in the lives of women. I don't know about you, but behavior change, it's hard. Starting a new habit or quitting a bad habit is so difficult. Personally, why has it been such a struggle to get my family into a routine with this distance learning? We had amazing success with a chart, a schedule that included PE, reading, helping around the house, limited video game time. Okay, that was amazingly successful for all of about the first 2 weeks of the COVID lockdown. Are you feeling me here? The struggle has been real. But this is just a trivial example. Imagine how much effort, strength, and determination it must take these women who are at the heart of this event to overcome the abuse and trauma they have experienced. I can't even imagine, and yet the success stories are compelling and inspiring. Next, the Alabaster Jar staff will share with us some of the difficulties that the clients are overcoming, as well as the amazing accomplishments they are making.
I know when you come from that lifestyle, you just really are beaten down, and it's really hard to even see the next day. So the one lady that has been there the longest, when she first came in, she was very quiet, did not trust anybody. You could tell that she had been through a lot. She had her walls up, you know, she didn't really want to talk about anything. And throughout this almost 2 years, I've seen her flourish. She's a leader in the house, and it's amazing to see how resilient these women are, and they're not letting anything stop them from achieving what they want.
Trying to change your life around from actually having somebody control your every move and your self-esteem, not having any identity of who you are, trying to find out what your purpose is in life is hard, because somebody has actually controlled that for so long. And by working through Alabaster Jar and having people that actually love you and pour into you, it helps. It builds that back up again. That's a true impact in my life. Building trust is actually something that is really hard to do, because they have been manipulated for so long, and it takes a while. We have to show up. We have to be consistent as staff members. We have to show them that we are there for them no matter what.
So this year, the women have overcome a lot of obstacles this year. One of them now is employed. She's also opened her own bank account. We have 2 that are in college. One of them also graduated high school, and another former resident that we used to have at Grace House, she is now in her own apartment. I know that to some these might seem like small steps, but those are key at building a strong foundation for the women and their futures. I remember specifically when one of the ladies that first came in, she was very depressed, had a lot of anxiety. She didn't see any hope, but to see her turning into that butterfly throughout this, she's almost going to be there 2 years, and she's graduated. Just anything that life has thrown at her, she has overcome it.
I've been able to watch a woman that was struggling with her education and honestly did not think that she was going to make it, wanted to give up so many times, and she was able to achieve obtaining her high school diploma. So unbeknownst to her, we threw her a graduation party, and it was so much fun. She did not expect it. This woman now actually has a job, and yeah, she's literally living her life that she did not think that she was going to be able to do.
I am so inspired to hear these stories of transformation and success. These women are taking massive steps to healing, and they are so strong and resilient. I love that you are all here tonight to help them along their journey. We have the privilege and honor tonight of hearing from a staff member and survivor at Alabaster Jar Project. Her name is Amanda, and she has overcome some great obstacles in her life, and now she is finding purpose in her painful past. Take a look at how she's using her own experience to empower others on their path to healing.
My name's Amanda, and I wear a lot of hats at AJP. I do the blog, I do the social media, I'm responsible for grant writing, and most recently I began teaching a class on the curriculum that I wrote for survivors. I actually came to Grace House about 4 years ago after 3 years in the life. And I needed a place to stay and to get back on my feet. And in that time I was able to get my own apartment. I got a full-time job, and I was able to move out of Grace House. It sounds simple, but working for AJP means that I can live a normal life. I can have my apartment, I can have a healthy relationship with my boyfriend, and that might not seem like a lot, but I have so many friends that didn't make it out and didn't get to live a normal life, and some of them even get killed or die of an overdose. And so these little victories, like I can go back to school, I have a job that's not just customer service, but it's something I'm actually good at, really does make a difference in my life.
One of the things that I'm really happy about right now in the program is just where the support that we have with our curriculum. We have very well-trained professionals helping to lead in some of this curriculum alongside survivors, and so we're building up leadership in our leaders at the same time.
The curriculum is called the Sexual Exploitation Survivor Handbook, and it guides new survivors through the first 15 months of their exploitation recovery. It touches everything from life skills like interview skills and how to write a resume to more advanced like trauma recovery, how to spot abusers and what to do in an unsafe situation, and light self-defense as well. I wrote this curriculum to say the words I wish someone would have said to me when I was struggling.
We have the curriculum ironed out in a way that it's the first 90 days they're going through exercise, the brain is calming down, they're learning about complex PTSD, they're learning about the different types of therapy. Oh, okay, that might work for me. And so we see a lot of people going into the therapy process. And so continuing to keep the curriculum focused on specific trauma, emotional abuse, just because identification is so important in being able to process and combat those old frames of thought.
I see the women I'm teaching, they're making the connections that maybe weren't there before. They definitely won't have an easy road, and they have to do all the work themselves, but at least I got their wheels turning.
What an impactful video. Hi everyone, I'm Susan Johnson. I'm the Executive Director and co-founder of Alabaster Jar Project. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We could not be here without your support. And what you just learned in Amanda's video is why we exist as an organization. This is what empowerment looks like. Having a safe place to rebuild your life, to find employment, and discover your purpose is what we are all about. We are so proud of Amanda and the impact that she is having. She is a leader, an inspiration, and a brilliant writer. If you haven't checked out our blogs on our website, you gotta check those out. Those of you who have been supporting us will remember that last year our goals for 2020 were to employ more survivors and to raise funds towards owning our own residential property. These goals will help us to become a more sustainable organization And I'm happy to report to you that despite the challenges that 2020 has brought us, we have met those goals. Not only have we employed more survivors, but we have been able to provide them with stable W-2 employment. While many businesses and independent contractors are losing jobs and income, we have been able to provide stable part-time income to our staff. This year, we have also voluntarily undergone our first financial audit. While they may not seem exciting to you, it is super exciting for us because this means that we are maturing as an organization and becoming more and more financially sound. For those of you who don't know, we started as a grassroots organization with literally zero funds. Some of you tonight may have been present at our first ever gala, which was held in the backyard of one of our co-founders' parents' homes back in 2014. Thanks so much, Jim and Lenora. That night, you helped us to get started by raising approximately $27,000. Those funds we used to rent a 2-bedroom apartment and provide a safe place for our first 2 women. Today, 6 years later, we have helped impact the lives of close to 400 women through our resource center, and we have helped to provide housing for 38 women through Grace House. This year, not only have we undergone a successful financial audit, but we have also been pre-approved by a mortgage lender so that we can move forward with purchasing our first residential property. We've been renting for the past 6 years, and owning our own property will help us to become more sustainable as an organization. Our goals for 2021 are to follow through with purchasing the residential property and to continue to grow in capacity. We need to be able to provide full-time employment for our essential staff positions. We are still operating with a part-time staff and we're a little worn thin. We can definitely do better and we need your help to do this. Having full-time staff will allow us to provide better services and be a more reliable resource for the women we serve. We need your help. The goal tonight is to raise $50,000 and I'm hoping that we can meet and exceed that goal. Please partner with us tonight to continue to impact the lives of and make a difference in our community. Your support makes it possible for women to find healing, transformation, and discover their purpose. We can't do this without you. Thank you so much for your generosity.
I am so impressed by all I've heard tonight. I hope you are as encouraged as I am by the transformation that is happening in the lives of these women through the amazing work of the Alabaster Jar Project. Look at the incredible examples we've witnessed of people using their talents to impact this world in a powerful way. I think that's going to be how we all make a difference in the fight against human trafficking, by each of us taking a look at how we can use our unique skill set and resources to make a difference, to partner with groups like Alabaster Jar, who are making a profound difference in our community. We hope that you want to join us in being part of the solution. One of the best ways you can help tonight is to give. Let me share with you how your contribution tonight makes a difference. There are 6 different sponsorship levels. First is the Thrive sponsor. At a $500 donation, this provides health and wellness programming, materials, and food for the women. The second level is the Visionary sponsor. At a $1,000 donation, this provides professional therapy services for one survivor for the whole year. As you can imagine, this is vital to their healing process. Third is the Scholarship sponsor. At a $2,500 donation, this provides for all the educational needs of the survivors in the home. Education is foundational to empowerment. Education is the building block to a life of self-sufficiency. Fourth is the Vocation sponsor. At a $5,000 donation, this will provide all of the job training and readiness skills for employment. When women can succeed in a job and support themselves, they have reached the final step to empowerment and self-sufficiency. Fifth is the Empowerment sponsor. At a $12,000 donation, this will cover all of the living expenses for one survivor. Having a safe and stable home environment is essential for the healing process. Many of these women have been moved from place to place or have been homeless, so a permanent and safe home is key to their recovery. Last is the survivor sponsor. At a donation of $25,000, this is an all-in sponsorship that will cover the costs for 1 year for one client. This is a full sponsorship that provides housing, therapy, education, and job training. This is a chance to be the primary sponsor in helping a woman find complete healing. There are several ways that you can give. If you're watching this live tonight, you can give by text, by going to the website, or you can write a check to Alabaster Jar Project and mail it to P.O. Box 351, Poway, California, 92074. The goal tonight is to raise a total of $50,000. So we hope that you can join Alabaster Jar Project and the work they are doing to empower women. The success you have heard tonight is because of your great generosity. You are not only empowering survivors of trafficking, you're giving new clients a pathway to healing. If you've already made a financial contribution, thank you. And while you're considering how you'd like to donate, let's hear another inspirational song from Jackie Foster. And stick around, because after the song, we have a special video for all of you here tonight. Now here's Jackie performing Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson.
Small town, when the rain would fall down, I just stare at my way, dreaming of what could be. And if I'd end up happy, I would pray, trying hard to reach out, but when I tried to speak out, felt like no one could hear. Wanted to belong here, something felt so wrong here, so I pray I could break away. I'd spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky. Gotta make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun, and I won't forget all the ones that I loved. Gotta make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Da, 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 wanna feel the warm breeze, sleep under a palm tree, feel the rush of the ocean, get on board a fast train, travel on a fast plane, far away. I could break away. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky. I gotta take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun, 'cause I won't forget all the ones that I loved. I gotta take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Buildings with 100 floors, swing around revolving doors. Maybe I don't know where they'll take me, but gotta keep moving on, fly away, break away. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. And though it's not easy to tell you goodbye, gotta make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Out make a change and break away. Break away. Just break away.
I want to thank everybody for their contributions. These women wouldn't be able to achieve their dreams or their goals without any of you. They wouldn't be able to have survivors on staff, which I do feel has definitely impacted their lives as well. Some of the things that the women are dreaming of doing are real estate, phlebotomy, paralegal, counseling.
All the other women that are coming up and coming into their own and their passion and what they want to do and achieving those goals, it wouldn't be possible without your support. And so I just want to thank you so much. Yes, the financial contributions, we couldn't operate without it. And also those that have come on and just in a mentorship role and giving job opportunities. Thank you so much.
I just want to thank all our donors and our volunteers that have given so much of themselves. It has really meant the world to us. You have no idea the impact that it has made on our lives. It's shown me that there's tangible proof that beauty does come from ashes. So thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thank you so much for donating to our cause. You really have no idea how much it helps, and because of your support, girls like me can have a fighting chance.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you for your generosity and for joining us to help women thrive. Don't forget, there's an online auction that will be open for the next 24 hours. There are some awesome items like a private yacht ride. So if you're watching live tonight, you can access that auction online. If you haven't already, break out the champagne or your drink of choice and let's raise a glass to a successful night. You are making a difference. Thanks again for joining us, and good night.